Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital's Maurice Benard's emergency hiatus. Why GH almost had to recast Sonny Corinthos. General Hospital, GH spoilers reveal that Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Benard, is in the middle of a worsening health crisis. But it turns out Maurice Benard recently dealt with a difficult one of his own. On Maurice Benard's State of Mind show, he opened up about a terrible battle with anxiety that ultimately forced him to take an emergency hiatus from GH. Benard explained how he missed the triggers since he hadn't been keeping up with therapy like he should. Although Benard acknowledged that his bipolar-related storyline may have been a factor in his real-life anxiety, there were other factors that he felt played a bigger part. Benard's wife and son went on a trip to Europe, so that left him without the two people who can typically talk him off the ledge when anxiety hits hard like this. However, the real problem came when that anxiety led to Benard's trouble sleeping. That made it even more difficult to cope, so Benard went to multiple psychiatrists and even faced a particularly rude one who made matters worse. Fortunately, Benard's friends rallied around him and helped get him through this rough patch. Benard also praised GH executive producer Frank Valentini for being compassionate and generous enough to let him take a little time off. Since Benard just couldn't work in his anxious state when he was having such terrible sleeping issues, he wound up taking 2 weeks off from the show. Benard was able to return to the role of Sonny Corinthos just in time since any more weeks off would have led to a recast. If I had to stay away another week, they would have had to recast, Benard said. And I'll tell you right now, if I'd had to recast, I'd have been in really bad shape. Because, the guy could be better than me, could be as good as me. Benard went as far to say that could have been the end of his run as Sonny Corinthos. You never know what's going to happen. I might have never come back, Benard confessed. So thank you Frank and General Hospital for doing that. Once Benard's wife and son returned home, he went to a facility briefly and had a hard time as he returned to work. Benard revealed that he eventually went on a tearful rant that helped release his emotions and became a turning point. Maurice Benard is known for being honest about his mental health struggles with his fans, so this news was another great example of that. We're certainly glad that Benard is feeling better and that he's back to playing Sonny. As for what's ahead for Sonny, General Hospital spoilers say Iva Jerome, Maura West, will unleash plenty more trouble, so stick with us for updates on her plans and predictions on Sonny's downward spiral. The sun cast a warm glow over Port Charles as the quiet hum of activity in the General Hospital studios carried on. Behind the scenes, the cast and crew were preparing for another day of filming, unaware of the storm that was about to hit. Maurice Benard, the heart and soul behind the iconic character of Sonny Corinthos, had been a cornerstone of General Hospital for decades. His portrayal of the complex mob boss with a heart of gold had captivated audiences, making Sonny one of the most beloved characters in daytime television history. But today, an air of uncertainty loomed over the set. Earlier that morning, Maurice received a call that shook him to his core. His wife Paula had been in a car accident, and the situation was dire. Without a moment's hesitation, Maurice left the studio, leaving behind a bewildered crew and cast. The news spread quickly, and concern for Maurice and his family permeated the set. Executive producer Frank Valentini called an emergency meeting. The gravity of the situation was evident on his face as he addressed the team. Maurice has had to leave due to a family emergency. We don't know how long he'll be gone, but we need to be prepared for all possibilities, including a temporary recast for Sonny. Gasps and murmurs filled the room. Recasting Sonny Corinthos, even temporarily, was almost unthinkable. The character and Maurice were so deeply intertwined that it seemed impossible to imagine anyone else stepping into those shoes. Yet the show had to go on, and the storyline couldn't afford a prolonged absence of such a central character. Valentini continued, "I know this is difficult, but we need to be professional and support Maurice in any way we can. Our audience relies on us to deliver, and we have to be ready to adapt." Writers scrambled to adjust scripts, and casting directors began an urgent search for someone who could fill Maurice's role, even if only for a short time. The task was monumental. Finding an actor who could capture the essence of Sonny, with all his charisma and complexity, was no small feat. As the days passed, tension on set grew. The crew rallied around Maurice in spirit, sending him messages of support and love. Meanwhile, auditions for a temporary Sonny were underway. It was a delicate process, balancing the need for continuity with the inevitable comparison to Maurice's masterful performance. Among the candidates, one actor stood out, Tony Casalino, a seasoned performer with a striking resemblance to Maurice. He had an undeniable presence and an understanding of the nuanced layers that made Sonny Corinthos so compelling. After much deliberation, the decision was made. Tony would step in as Sonny, but only until Maurice could return. The announcement of the temporary recast sent shockwaves through the General Hospital fanbase. Social media buzzed with mixed reactions. Some fans were supportive and understanding, while others were skeptical, unable to fathom anyone but Maurice in the role. Tony Casalino arrived on set with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. He knew the shoes he was stepping into were enormous, and the expectations were sky-high. The cast and crew welcomed him warmly, though the unspoken hope for Maurice's quick return hung in the air. Tony's first scenes as Sonny were met with intense scrutiny. He poured his heart into the role, channeling the essence of Sonny while bringing his own interpretation to the character. The initial feedback was mixed, but as the days turned into weeks, viewers began to appreciate Tony's dedication and talent. Behind the scenes, Maurice remained a constant presence in spirit. He stayed in touch with the cast and crew, providing updates on his wife's condition. The support from his General Hospital family meant the world to him, helping him through one of the most challenging times of his life. Paula's condition gradually improved, and the day finally came when Maurice was ready to return to the set. His absence had been deeply felt, but the show had persevered, a testament to the strength and resilience of the entire team. When Maurice walked back onto the set, the atmosphere was electric. Cast and crew gathered to welcome him back with open arms, their relief and joy palpable. Tony Casalino, who had stepped into an impossible role with grace and professionalism, embraced Maurice, handing back the mantle of Sonny Corinthos. Maurice's return was met with an outpouring of love from fans, who had missed him dearly. The temporary recast, while necessary, had underscored just how irreplaceable Maurice Benard was to the world of General Hospital. Reflecting on the experience, Maurice felt a profound gratitude for his colleagues and fans. The crisis had been a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of family, both on and off screen.